Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Randee Saves, and today I will show you another video that is part of the series From Couponing to the Table. So, as many of you know, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a coupon for a free A&W root beer. So I hope that you guys were able to print it out and use it because, you know, who doesn't like free? So if you have a Publix, you could have gotten 4 for free, I think last week. If you don't have a Publix, you can just get 1 for free. So either way, you get it for free. So I decided to do a root beer float pie. Now, the original recipe, I will leave the link to that in the description box below. However, the original recipe calls for reduced fat whipped topping, which I am not going to use. If you know my channel, I am not about diet or anything like that, so I'm not using a reduced fat whipped cream. I'm just using the original whipped cream. And it also calls for a diet root beer, which once again, I am not about that life, so I'm using the original one. And it also calls for sugar-free instant vanilla pudding, which I'm not going to use. I'm just going to use a normal instant vanilla pudding. So just keep that in mind. It also calls for cherries, but that's optional. So if you do want to follow the recipe to the T, I will leave the link to that recipe in the description box below. So that's one disclaimer. Another thing is that I was reading some of the comments and reviews, and the only thing that people were complaining about is that it really doesn't have a root beer taste. So if you do want a strong root beer taste, then you will have to buy the root beer oil to kind of have that flavor enhanced. So keep that in mind as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have my 3/4 cup of root beer, and then it calls for an 8-ounce whipped cream. So it also says to separate half a cup for topping. So I'm going to open this and just go ahead and remove half a cup for the topping. So the recipe calls for 1 package of sugar-free instant vanilla pudding mix, and into parentheses it says 1 ounce. So I'm just going to put 2 tablespoons of the ones that I have. So that should be 1 ounce, I think. So we're going to go ahead and whisk it for about 2 minutes. So now that it's whisked for 2 minutes, you're supposed to pour half of the remaining whipped cream in a 9-inch graham cracker pan, whatever you call it. That's there. And then with the remaining whipped cream, you just put it in the top of it. So after I put the topping, this is how it looks. This is real life. It does not look pretty at all, but I'm still gonna continue the process. What you're supposed to do is go ahead and freeze it for at least 8 hours or overnight. So right now it's about 4 o'clock, so it will be overnight. So let's see how it looks when it comes from the freezer, and more importantly, how it tastes. So this is the next morning, and like I said, it doesn't look really good. You know, it doesn't, it's just all swirl all the way. But I'm gonna cut a piece and we're gonna go ahead and do the real test, which is the taste test. So here's the piece of it. Like I said, it doesn't look like the picture, but it looks almost like it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a bite. I'm gonna see the real test for this, which is the taste. It tastes good. Like the review said, it does not have a root beer taste, really, but it really tastes good. So I will recommend doing it. It's super easy. Now, if you want it to look beautiful, then you probably have to fold it the correct way, because I'm not even sure I did it correctly. And the topping, you probably have to use other tools to top it off so it can look pretty. But in terms of flavor, it tastes really good. Now, just keep in mind, like I said at the beginning, I did not use any diet anything. So if you want it to be like the recipe, then you have to get the diet ingredients. But pretty easy. you know, pretty easy. I like simple recipes, and I think this is pretty easy. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.